Coventry City Football Club, once a force in the English footballing world, and also a club with rich history and unforgettable moments, and a loyal fan base that never give up on them. Even through the struggles of administration and ground sharing with Birmingham Football Club, it all added up. Relegations have been in there as well, and this is time for them to show who they are. Recently sacking their manager, adding to more misery onto the club. Even though they had the highs of getting into the playoffs previously last year, there was still that doubt over their head. Maybe they could be that club that they once were. So today, I'm taking on Coventry City. I'm going to try and rebuild them, take them back to the Premier League where they belong, and hopefully we can get some form of European football and give the fans something that they deserve. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the rebuild. Coventry City managed to get the playoffs previously last season, so if we can emulate that, I'll be very happy with that. So here are the players that I am looking forward to using the most and who I'm going to kind of build this squad around straight away. Milan van Ewijk is absolutely outstanding for this team. If you can see his pace there, absolutely unbelievable. His dribbling and crossing is great, as well as his tackling. A very all-round player that can play either fullback or get forward as well. I'm definitely going to utilise him, want him crossing that ball in, and I want him bombing forward as much as he possibly can to get involved with that attacking form. Already valued at 10 to 11 million. That's great in the championship for us. And literally on the opposite side of that fullback, we have Jada Silva there, another fast player that can get forward, can get a good dribbling and can whip a cross in. Also very capable of tackling as well, and got some fantastic mentals. So literally we have got two very fast fullbacks that are going to get forward and help out with this attacking foot. One of our most creative players of the team as well is going to be Ben Schiff, a fantastic player that can play in the midfield or a holding midfield, anywhere around that. He can play as a centre half, but I don't think I'm going to put him anywhere near that. He's more going to be our creative player, more like a DLP, a little bit of a deep line playmaker with his passing, his teamwork, his vision, his work rate, and got a lot of stamina in that middle. He's going to be putting the work in for sure. His position partner is going to be Callum O'Hara as well. Unfortunately, he is injured for the first 2 months to 3 months. That's a big loss because if you just look at him, he has got the ability to do a lot of things. Really want him as a midfielder with the attacking flares or attacking roles from him. That dribbling as well is going to be phenomenal. He can pass the ball, he can long shot, great tackers, weight rate of 15 and flair of 18. This man is going to be up and down the field, just dribbling in and outside of everyone. An absolute exquisite player and an addition to this squad. And another fantastic dribbler of the ball is going to be Sakamoto on that right hand side. A Japanese capped as well, so it's always nice to get that Asian influence into the team. Another good player. He isn't really the fastest player that you're going to see from this side, but that man is capable of running with the ball, whipping across in, technique, work rate, teamwork, the full shebang is what we want to see, and this guy is absolutely class. And one thing that I love about him is that he enjoys a big match. We like them types of players. I don't feel like our strongest points are of the striker role. Ali Sims in here, but to me, he just lacks a little bit of from it. If we can get 6 to 8 million for him, I'll be very happy with that. He's got good strength, good jumping reach. He's a bit more of like a targety forward type of player. I don't think I'm going to be playing one in this team with who we've got, but we will see what we can do and we can see if we can keep hold of him or if we're going to sign him for the right price. I feel like strikers is where we lack in this team. We do also have Matt Gordon, but another one who's not very fast. I kind of need a little bit more from our strikers there. Very good composure and finishing. He's only valued at 1.7 million to 2.3 million. If we can get him into the squad, we'll probably use him. Doesn't like big matches and is injury prone. Two big cons I do not like to see in my players. The board have not been very generous as well, as you can see up there, giving us a 0 transfer budget. Now, that is not what we want to see, really. I needed a little bit of pulling power here and there with me, but unfortunately, they haven't given us anything. We have brought in one player, though, and that is a new striker. We picked him up on a free, and this is the guy. Mr. Andy Delort. He looks phenomenal. Look at their mentals. Not one of them under 11, and he's actually got all right pace. Bit of jumping reach, his strength as well is great. His finishing of 15 is class, but everything else about him, work rate, teamwork, off the ball, the man's just phenomenal. And to get him on a free for £10,000 in the championship is an absolute steal for me. The tactic that I am going to be running is going to be the 4-3-2-1, and as you can see here, it is nice and set up for us. We are going to play Brad Collins in goals. De Silva's going to be on that left side. Kitchen and Thomas partnership in the centre halves there. Van Uyk is going to be in our right back situation. Chief Eccles O'Hara is going to be that 3 centre midfield lock in there. It looks phenomenal, that does. I really like that. O'Hara hopefully gets back quickly, but I'm not hoping too much, but it'll be nice when he comes back. We are going to go right on the left-hand side as that inside forward. Sakamoto on the wing for us, and then we're also going to play Delort as our inside forward. We're going to play with that positive mentality as well. We are going to play fairly wide, pass into space, work on the both sides. We're going to go short passing, high tempo, running defenders, and we're going to work that ball into the box. I feel confident with this team that we're going to counter press, counter distribute quickly, and play to our centre-offs. We're then going to go much more press. We're going to prevent the short goalkeeper distribution, and we're going to get stuck in as well. Playing a high press, so a high line of engagement, and we're also going to have a high line defensively, so hopefully we can push them up and win that ball back right at the top of the field. That is going to be our team. Let's see how we get on and get into the end of the season of Season 1. End of the first season sees us finishing 8th in the league, and actually not too bad really. 7 points away from them playoff spots. I feel like we can definitely get the playoffs and push on a little bit further next time. Middlesbrough gained 100 points is actually quite impressive from them. Leicester and Ipswich went up, and Southampton obviously locked out in the playoffs. If you have a look at our players as well, Andy Delort got us 28 goals. What a free signing that was at the start of the season. I knew he'd come in very good for us, so I'm glad we ended up picking him up as well. Milan Van Uyk gets us a 7.08 ratings there, and then Sakamoto gets us 21 assists playing on that right-hand side as the winger. Done phenomenal work for us. Pretty much that right side has been fantastic for us, so I'm happy with that. Also, we did actually bottle it a little bit. We'd started off the season really well, and then we went into this little run here from March, only picking up 4 wins in the league. Absolute heartbreak for us, and we just, honestly, it just wasn't good and what we needed really. Big mistakes made by just slipping off at the end of the season. Yeah, we could have pushed for playoffs easily, but I think we had a real bad start end of it there, and that's just cost us massively. Delort and Sakamoto both topping the groups, as well as Golden Boot goes to Delort, and also Sakamoto gets the top assist. That's absolutely class from us, and 2 players that we are going to definitely keep next year as we look into who we need to improve on. Looking through a couple of players, and there is a few players that have been struggling a little bit. Bobby Thomas was a big one there, only averaging a 6.7 for the whole season, but you cannot kind of go too much about that because Sakamoto only averaged a 6.6 for the whole season, yet he got 21 assists, topped the whole assist record in the championship as well with 18. So really, we can't really look at this and be a little bit too aggressive with it. But there's a few players in there that I am looking to potentially move on or try and bring in better players for us next year that could just take us to the top and hopefully get us them automatics. I don't mind not winning the league as long as we get automatics or the playoff for the playoffs. That's what we want for next season. The board haven't been that generous neither. They have only given us £1.9 million. And the wages is just in a minus, so we've got to offload some players before we actually get any new ones in. That is a little bit rough, but we might be able to sneak some loans in to try and help us out next year. Next year, we have got to deal with Luton, Wolves, and Burnley all getting relegated from the Premiership into the Championship. The only one that really gives me a threat there is Wolves if they keep hold of some of their big money players. A little bit gutted that we didn't get playoffs, but what we're going to do is we're going to focus on next year, and hopefully we can improve on that and go one further. So let's have a look at some of the transfers in Season 2. We're heading straight into Season 2, and things were a little bit difficult with that budget that we got from the board. Only £1 million, and we're actually on a deficit in the wages, so we had to try and offload a player and try and move all of ones on, but whilst keeping the structure of our team. It was quite hard actually, and I'm going to show you just who exactly we brought in. Jean-Philippe Bamin is actually our first signing, and pretty much we've only brought 2 signings in, I'm not going to lie. We brought him in on a free, of course we did, because we literally had no money whatsoever. He has been playing a little bit of time in France 2nd Division, but we have took a chance on him. His attributes look phenomenal for what I want him to do, that tackling being in there. He's going to be that defensive midfielder for us, and I think this is a very good signing for a season in the Championship. Our second signing is Dennis Kirkin. Unfortunately for us, this is going to be a loan from Tottenham Hotspurs. I just feel like he strengthens up that left defensive side. We've got De Silva there, but he had a really poor one this year. So I'm letting Dennis Kirkin come in and see if he can change anything. With that, we did change the team as well, as we do put Gavin into that centre defensive midfield position, which then brings O'Hare into the attacking CM role, which is going to let him push forward. And the reason why we do that is because he's got this 17 dribbling as well as 14 passing, which just lets him get forward whenever he wants. I have actually put on him to shoot more often as well, because he can't run with the ball, so hopefully that can have a big effect on us in that centre mid. I want to see some more goals contribution from him as well. Sheep then becomes a box to box, which we are going to change to a deep line playmaker on support so that he can spread this ball around, pass it around, and do what he does best. Kirkin obviously coming back as the left back there as well, and we're going to leave this right hand side absolutely as it is. Mason Clark did come back off loan from Peterborough, and he's going to go straight in there. He managed to get 9 goals with 2 assists last year, averaging as a 7, so we've put him into the team this year to see what he can do. He is going to be playing as an inside forward as well. We have switched to the attacking mentality, and also we have took the underlaps off this tactic as well. Don't think that was working for us, so we're going to keep it a little bit more down the wings with the ball in, and then hopefully Delort can get us more goals, and hopefully we can push for 30 goal season off him. We have currently played 1 game so far as well, and it ends in a 2-2 with Burnley to start the season. We have played 1 game this season as well, and it was a tough one really, facing Burnley, and we actually managed to get a 2-2 against them, so I'm going to say that's a bit of credit to us to actually get a result against Burnley. It's one of the teams that I was a little bit worried about. They got a lot of money, Vincent Kompany's still their manager there, so it's a big ask, but as you can see, Mason Clark getting in, showing why we are repaying us for using him as this lone player that he was last year. Come back into, had a good year, we put him into the first team, repaying us for it. We actually take the lead as well, and Sakamoto gets that ball in, a very good whip in, good clearance away, set back over to Sakamoto yet again, who finds them all through, and it's a nice little touch for O'Hare, who we wanted to shoot more often and try and get more goals. Unfortunately though, in the 74th minute, it is going to be a equaliser from Burnley, and it's going to end the game 2-2 all the way across. A little bit of a misplace there from Collins Kitchen, and Weggers just knocked it in for a 2-2. A good start to the season, I would say personally with that. He was away from home as well, so shall we get into the rest of the season, and hopefully we can get a promotion to the Premiership maybe. Season 2 wrapped up, and things went that little step better as we headed into the playoffs for a chance to get to the Premier League. And in the final, we had to face my beloved Stoke City. Always going to be a tough one, whether we get a win or we lose or not. But we started off really well as Mason Clark fires the ball into the back of net to give us a 1-goal lead. Then just after half-time, we managed to double our tally with a wonderful cross in there. Not dealt with very well. Sacramento brings the ball through. Delort plays it back, and there is a wonderful pass through as Eccles gives us a 2-goal lead. And then we finally get a 3rd goal as Gavin gets that ball, plays it down to Kirkin on this left-hand side, bursts past the defenders there, strides way through, and what a loan signing that man has been. It gives us a 3-goal lead in the 50th minute. In the 96th minute, Stoke did manage to claw one back, but it was a little bit too late as Josh Lawrence puts the ball back in net. But we did get away with a 3-1 victory, seeing us promoted to the Premier League. An absolute wonderful start to the season it was for us, as we picked up a lot of wins, and then we had this exquisite month through October, November, December and January as well. But things kind of went a little bit off the boil as we move into February, into March, and then also April. But luckily we pulled it back at the end of the season there, picking up a win against West Brom. So we faced 2 Midland sides really in the playoffs, but we actually did well, going through on penalties as well as 3-0 victory away from home, then a 3-0 loss at home. Absolute madness. But we have done it, and it was none other to this man here, and it was Mr. Andy Delort. 30 goals this season. That's what we expected from him. That's what we wanted. We knew he was capable of this last season, putting in a good effort, but this season getting 30 goals, absolute exquisite for us as well. Milan Van Uwijk as well, getting a rating of 7.09. Look at his value as well, 20 27 million to 30 million pounds. He's going to be clinical for us in the Premier League, and he's just locked in his position there for us. Absolutely fantastic player from him. Sakamoto getting the upgrade as well there, 23 million pounds. He is now valued at. Average a 7.03, managed 24 games this season for us, 3 goals, 8 assists. He has been class, and he actually got the top assist for us this year again, so it just proves how important he is to have into this team. Tactic pretty much stayed the same as well all through the year, which is good to see. We have then 2 ball-playing defenders, Gamin in that centre there doing the holding midfielders, allowing Sheaf and O'Hara to kind of run forward. I know Sheaf is playing as that DLP, but it allows him to push on a little bit more and get further up the field as we've got a gap there, fill it, not easily just mopping everything up and just trying to get that ball cleared away. So now we can look at this team, assess it, and see who we want to move on. For me personally, I think we need someone on that left-hand side. I know Mason Clark just scored one of the goals in the playoffs, but it looks like we need to improve on that side. So that left side's going to get a bit of improvement for sure. Potentially a new midfielder, and 100% need to get some new centre-halves into this team for us. And we don't have that much of a bad budget as well. 37 million in the bank, 160k in the wages for us. So that's also a decent amount of money. We've got to kind of be a little bit responsible with the money as well, because I'm kind of looking as if we go down, we need to come straight back up as well. So we've got to use that money wisely and not just blow it all on a 30 million pound signing, and then we're just stuck with a Sander Berg kind of style signing in my eyes. So got to be a bit more careful and clever with who we actually sign and what we do for next season. So shall we have a look at the signings for next year? Life in the Premiership with that 37 million pounds that we have is going to get invested into the team here. So, shall we have a quick goosey gander of exactly who we brought in to try and survive this first year in the Premiership? We did say we wanted a bit of an improvement in the centre-half position, and Corny Hoos is going to be the guy for us here. Very good acceleration, good pace, good jump reach as well. Very good heading, so he's going to be a little bit dangerous on corners as well. With very good mentals as well as brilliant tackling, marking is just what we needed, and the improvement they're alike. And he has one of my favourite pros as well there. Enjoys big matches, because we're going to have plenty of them in the Premiership. Our next centre-half is going to be Billy Cometio, and he comes in from Liverpool. Now, he's not the best player out there. We kind of just picked him up for a free transfer, so I wasn't really too concerned about that. I just saw his 17 jumping reach, really, and 13 heading, and thought, you know what? He'd be pretty good in the Premier League for corners, and hopefully he can just develop. He is only 22 as well, so I went for down the development route for this guy more than anything else there, so hopefully he can do his wonders. And carrying on with that big man as well, we picked up Abdullah Simmer, a former Stoke City player, another freebie as well. Spent some time at Rangers, went back to Brighton, played 1 game, and then we thought, you know what, we're going to pick this guy up. We do play with an inside forward, so that's where we're going to put him, and then hopefully he can just outjump any of the fullbacks out there. Using his pace as well, I'm hoping this man bags some goals. It's a plan. I just hope it plays off.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Our last free signing is going to be Andros Schaffer. I hope I said that right. I can't pronounce the A with the 2 dots out there, so that's what we're going to go for him. A Hungarian centre defensive midfielder, I class him as, so we will be playing him as that DM role, replacing Gamin in there. We have got rotation for them now because Gamin's still with us, but still, he is a lot better player suited down to that position than I feel Gamin is as well. His mentals are just astronomically brilliant, and just what we need in the Premiership is that person that's hungry, determined, and loves to work for his teammates. So big signing for us on a free there. He's already valued at 22 to 24 million, which is mental. And the actual signings that we've made with money is going to be Dennis Kirky, and I think we deserved a contract with us. We actually picked him up for the £7 million that Tottenham wanted for him. We had him on loan last year, and then we picked him up. I think he's going to slot into that left-back position perfectly in the Premiership. No worries or qualms about him. I think he's going to be absolutely fine. And then our new striker is going to be Johan Bonney. We picked him up from Parma for 8.5 million. His release course, and he is an absolute machine. Just look at his mentals as well as his physicals as well. He's valued at 32 to 41 million pounds for us. We picked him on 44 grand a week. He's only 21 as well, so he's just going to develop for us. I am excited to see what this chap can do. Now, you're probably thinking, Tick, you've only really spent there 15 million. You had 37 million. We had to pump a lot of money into wages. And the reason why we did that is, if you can see here, a lot of players we're on a lot of money there. Bonnie come in at 44. Milan wanted a new contract, which has boosted him up to 44 grand. I didn't realize as well that with Milan, in his contract, he has the match the ice earner, one of the worst add-ons you can ever add to a player's contract. I did that, I made the mistake, so he pretty much gets whatever. So if we bring in anyone else, he's going to get that pay rise as well. So it adds on so much more money for it. I made a silly mistake. Haji Wright is on £40,000 a week as well for us. He managed to play last year, he got 12 goals, which is good to see, but he is still on £40,000 a week as well. Sacramento went to £39,000 a week. Delort went up to £36,000. Ben Sheaf went up to £31,000. Obviously, Dennis Kirky came in for £31,000 as well. Callum O'Hara went up to 28. Courtney House come in for 27. These all added up. They all got these bonuses as soon as we got to the Premiership that just kind of took away quite a bit of our wages and left me a little bit skint where we had to transfer the wages, the transfer budget over to the wages. So that is why we were a little bit struggling. Here is the tactic that we are going to use, and this is going to be how we are going to be setting up there as well. If you can see, we have changed to the cautious mentality. I don't want us doing any crazy things out there. Simmer's going to be that inside forward. Hopefully Sakamoto can whip that ball into the far end and get some goals from Simmer. And also Bonnie, who's got good jumping reach as well. Another thing that I have changes there is we've gone to floaty crosses, and the reason we have done this is because them two big boys are hopefully going to win the header. Instead of it being low across a ball, allowing the defenders to get in and get it away, that floated cross is going to be a little bit more dangerous and going to get us a high jumping reach. So that's what we kind of gone for. Also, I took off counter because I just don't want us lumping that ball up and getting rid of it. If we play the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, Man United, stuff like that, that ball is going to come back a lot quicker than what we did pumping it long. So I got rid of counter just to slow a little bit down and just allow us to have a little bit of possession and feel comfortable on the ball in the Premiership. Hopefully that can help us out. And with that, that is how we are going to go and play this season. Hopefully we can survive. We just want 1 year where we survive, boost that reputation, and then hopefully we can bring in better players next year. So let's see how we get on with the season. Our first year in the Premiership wrapped up and things went, well, as a success, I guess. We actually picked up this cracking result in the league. A victory against Chelsea away from home. Yeah, that is right. We actually picked up a 3-1 victory over Chelsea. They did get an early goal to start off, but we came back super strong, just showing the grit and determination from this team and actually managed to do what we never thought we could do, actually, and that's actually pick up some good results in the Premier League. A very misplaced pass there is going to see a wonderful ball through, and Bonnie just taps it in for 1-1. Now, I always knew that this season was going to be one of the worst seasons that we're ever going to have, and I wasn't expecting anything special, really. I just wanted survival more than anything, because I knew that way we could push in. That is the worst goal I think I've ever seen in my life from Ben Chilwell there. But as soon as we got the survival, our reputation would boost up, and then we would potentially have more money to spend on other players and bring in that better caliber of players. Well, that's what we wanted, if I'm honest, and that's a great goal from Sacramento. And that's pretty much what we actually did there as well. And when you look at the league table, that result against Chelsea wasn't actually that impressive, as they finished 14th, a bit like real life, wasn't it, last season? But we do survive. We survived by 3 points, just 43 points getting us over the line. We did lose 17 games, which was something I was expecting to happen there as well. Winning 11 games, drawing 10, convert them 10s into them draws into wins, then we might be a little bit better there for us. We did get knocked out of the Cups quite early on. 3rd round by Blackburn and also the 5th round by West Ham. I didn't actually mind that because it allowed us to focus on the Premier League and survival, get us that money for next year, that 90 million with the TV rights, which the club wants as well. And that just puts the finances at 76 million for the club as well, which is a great understanding from me and the board. Understand that we're making money as well as allowing us to spend the money as well. It was always going to be a tough season for our brand new signings as well. As you can see there, Bonnet getting us 10 goals and 1 assist. Not exactly the record that I was expecting from him. I wanted a bit more from him, but 10 goals, I can't really complain. As a newly promoted side, he's just come from Italy, playing in the Premiership, one of the most competitive leagues. It's always going to be a difficult one for him. Managed to get a 6.7 average rating for us. I could just do a little bit more from him. Simmer managed to get us 8 goals on that left-hand side as well as that inside forward, managing 2 assists as well, averaging a 6.86. Not ideal, but for a free, I can't complain at that. Andros picked up a 6.74 rating, gained 4 goals and 4 assists in that midfield slot there. He did end up playing more as an attacking player as well, just mixing it up a little bit. Some players are not happy. Callum O'Hara was one of them, wanted more game time there, wasn't getting too much. Jay Bridwell, I don't mind Jay Bridwell, he can leave for us. Delort actually extremely poor, purely probably because we brought Bonnie in and then replaced him with that. I understand that as well. Bonnie is also unhappy with us because he wants the club, he wants the team to have stronger players. Now, I can't do that during the season, can I? I've got to wait till next year before we can do. So there's a few unhappy players in here, so we might offload a couple of these and just completely rebuild this squad from the ground up because some of these players just don't understand how lucky they actually are. And the way we're going to do that is with the 62 million the board has given us yet again. So that was 37 million last year, 62 million this year, which is fantastic for us there. We might have to put some money into the wages to try and get a little bit more going from us. But the fact that we got that money, I'm absolutely over the moon with it. And what we're potentially going to look for as well is maybe some central midfielders with a bit more experience in that position as well. I might look to bring in some centre-offs as well. Now, I know that we brought House in this season. He had an alright one, playing a 6.84 for us, but it was more of Kumetio who I'm a little bit concerned of. He is valued at 7.2 to 8 million, so we could potentially offload him if we need to, but he was just a little bit out of his reach with Premier League football and something that we might look into and change. We definitely need a new goalkeeper as well. I feel like we're at the stage where Brad Collins is alright, but a little bit of an improvement could go a long way for us. So shall we get into some transfer windows as I nearly knocked my glass over and see who we can bring in? We're into season 4 transfer window at the start of the season, and I am going to warn you now, guys. This is one of the craziest transfer windows ever produced. I'm just telling you now, it is absolutely bonkers. Let's get into it. First and foremost, we did sell £137 million worth of players, and I'm going to calm you down there. I'm going to go through how we got that money. So let's get into it. First up, Bobby Thomas left us. He actually went to Preston for $3 million. Andy Delort, he managed to go to Saudi Arabia for £1.8 million. Liam Kitchen, he decided to go to Hull for $3.2 million. Milan van Iwijk, he went for, yes, £50 million. It's just something I could not refuse. He is currently on £425,000 a week, valued at 95 to 111 million pounds. I just could not refuse that. He had to go. As good as he is, he had to go. 50 million. Unbelievable. Josh Eccles decided to go to Ipswich for 12 million. Been at the club all his career, so he's a bit of a sad one to see him leave. Victor Torp, he went for 5 million to a Saudi Arabia club. Abdullah Simmer went to Middlesbrough for 6.5 million. I know we only signed him last year, but we got rid of him because we knew we could get better. Bedsheaf came out as well. We sold him off to Sheffield United for £30 million. Now, the reason why we got rid of him is he wanted over 100 grand, and I couldn't accept that. There's no way he was getting over £100,000 a week, and I got rid of him. And then Johan Bonny, after complaining about the team, we actually sold him for £22.5 million. I thought, you know what, you're just going to cause a disruption with the team, so we sold him on, and we just made the profit from there, and we take that. Moving over to the players in now, and we managed to spend at the moment £105 million. I feel like Dr. Evil. And how did we do that? Well, let's get through. It might be a fast one though, because we've got a lot of players in here. First signing for us is going to be Simon Aningre. We picked him up from Brighton for £8 million. He is absolutely rapid, and that's probably why I signed him. He's just absolutely rapid, so we're taking a punt on him there. Johan Hove, we picked up on a free from Groningen, and we picked him up on a free. He's going to be more of a replacement or a backup player in that holding midfield position, or he can play in the centre mid. Either way, there is definitely options there. Probably going to end up as a backup player. already valued at 18 to 24 million though. We take that. Replacing one of our centre-halves is going to be Bruno Amion, and we picked him up for a crazy price of just 6 million in Mexico there. A phenomenal centre-half. Good jumping reach as well. Mentals are phenomenal. Mark is brilliant as well as his tackling, and he can pass the ball. First touch is good. He's easily a ball-playing defender in a nutshell. Great signing for us. We picked up Prince Anning on a free transfer as well. Picking him up from Dortmund's second side. Didn't really play for the main side, so they just released him and we came swooping in. Another very fast player on that left-hand side for us as well. Coming in, he can cross the ball as well as dribble with it, as well as great techniques of tackling and good mentals. A nice signing on the free, already worth 32 million. Another centre-half coming in for us is Alejandro Francis. We managed to pick him up from Zaragoza for 15 million pounds. Had a good couple of seasons in the La Liga, so we swooped in there, try and get him. Another very good player. His jumping reach is the only thing that lets him down, but the versatility of him playing on that right-hand side as well as centre-half, that helps out the team massively for rotation. Nikita Krivstov comes in for us as well. We managed to pick him up for 6 million from Krasnodar from Russia. Also had a very, very good 2 seasons in the Premier League of Russia, getting up 7 goals, 10 assists, and managing 7s every single season that he's played there. Phenomenal for us. Hopefully he can replicate that in the Premiership for us. Uroš Skrevkovic, I hope I said that right. I probably haven't. It's Serbian. There's no chance I've said that right. He is going to be a striker, a backup striker as well. And when I say backup striker, you look at his attributes, you're going to be wondering who the heck have we signed as a striker. We'll come to that in a minute. Trust me. Anyway, Uroš, fantastic player. We managed to pick up for 5.5 million as well. The team that actually knocked us out of the Conference League in a previous save, just so you're aware, if you haven't seen the Genoa rebuild. Link is up there and down there and somewhere about. But very good player, backup striker for us. We needed that goalkeeper, and Nicholas Held come in for us as well. We picked him up for a very cheap £10 million. We picked him up from a Rapid. He didn't play last year, which I thought was a kind of a strange one as well, because he's a very good goalkeeper at the age of 25 as well. So we took full advantage of them not using him, and he becomes a Premier League goalkeeper. We did go down the loan run, as I do pick up Maximo Perone, and he is a very, very good player. I think he's going to slot into our DLP position or defensive midfield position so easily. Just look at him. Now, the only thing is, I am going to be kind of making a Manchester City player better, but if we can pick him up next season, maybe that comes an advantage to us. Ryan Zaragoza as well comes a loan from us. We picked him up from Bayern Munich on loan. He could be used on that outside, on the wings as an inside forward, or he can play up front as well. Another one that's probably going to be in the rotation of the squad here, just help out with any tired players. Now, back on that free business here, we do pick up Dilrosun, who we got in from Feyenoord on a free. Contract ran out. He's fast, but he's more of... I shouldn't really do this because it's kind of like frowned upon from me anyway, but we're probably just going to sell him next season or at January. Just make a little bit of profit. Probably the wrong way to go. Mbala Nzola, though, is a fantastic player we picked up on a free from Fiorentina. An absolute grab from anywhere. Can play in any of the 3 attacking position roles that we have. He's a perfectionist as well. Honestly, I am so glad we managed to pick this guy up on a free. He is 30, so we're going to try and get the most of his last years in the footballing world. Ottavio becomes another player we pick up on a free, going away from Al Nasri. He comes into our team. The fact that we got him for £37,000 when he was probably on about £4 million a week plus bonuses is absolutely fantastic. But we did manage to pick him up. A very, very talented player. And just like Nzola, he is going to be seeing his last years with us. And then talking about last years of people's career, Marcelo Brozovic, we picked up as a midfielder as well. I don't really need to praise him as much as I kind of really. He is an unbelievable player that's done it in many, many different leagues and an exquisite footballer, say none the least. But we have got one more player that we have signed, and he's a striker, and it's going to be none other than, drum roll please, Evan Ferguson is a Coventry player. Yes, we spent the cash on him. We picked him up for £45 million, and we just took him away from Brighton. I said, you know what, we'll have a bit of that. He's on 90 grand a week. He's only 21, but by God, this man looks like an absolute machine, and I can't wait to stick him into our team and play him as that attacking advance forward. You're probably wondering, how the heck did we pick Evan Ferguson up? Well, remember guys, Brighton did actually get relegated, so he wanted to play Premier League football. football, so we swooped in there and stole him off them. So the team is going to look like this. There is literally 10 out of the 11 players that are different. Yeah. That's going to be hard to get them gelling together. We have gone back to attacking, though, because this team is just too good not to attack. You literally can't. Last year, we were a very defensive side, trying to be cautious around where we go. But this year, we've got to go attacking, and that's exactly what we have done there as well. I've gone back to mixed crosses as well, purely because we've lost that height kind of in them players there. So we've kind of taken them off there. Obviously, Otavia has now become an inside forward as well, so he's going to try and get more goals playing that 3 up top more than anything else. We've gone back on counter because I think the distribution of our players has significantly increased, that I want them to allow to reach that ball because they're going to be a lot better at what they do than they were previously as well. And that is going to be how we're going to get on with this one. So let's fast forward into the future, and hopefully we can finish a little bit better than avoiding relegation. I kind of want to push for Europe with this team, I'm not going to lie. Whether we do that or not is a different story, because if you have a look here, we've started the season absolutely terrible. We haven't won a game yet. We need the players to gel together first. Once they gel, they'll come along and they'll start winning games. These are big games for us to start off with. Season 4 is now completed, and after that bad run that we had, the team kind of gelled together, and we put some good results together, and some results that might quite shock you. One of them results is a cracking 2-1 victory against Arsenal. We actually won at home as well, so these are massive results for us. A good ball into the box and an easy tap in for Agandri. Lovely stuff, and then we just got a nice cheeky penalty in the last minute, and that is absolutely cool, calm, collective from Sakamoto to give us a 2-1 victory in the 87th minute. We also picked up another victory against Liverpool, and this time it's going to be a 3-2 victory, and that's a lovely ball there. Absolute great finish just to tap in, but Byron with an unbelievable run down the wing taps it in, and it just shows that we are being a little bit of a fortress when it comes to our home side games here. As you can see, once again, ball into the box, lovely ball down, and to be fair, he should have finished that, but Byron gained a goal for us again. Lovely stuff. And then Brozovic with a ball into the box. Lovely stuff there. Headed down, and then Ferguson does get us that third goal. Liverpool do get a consolation back, but it's not enough as they get this in the 96th minute. So technically it should have been 3-1, but Sabaswai just gets a great finish there for a 3-2. And with that, we managed to finish 11th in the league. Magically one behind Chelsea yet again. That's kind of weird that we're always behind Chelsea by one position, but we are only 17 points away from the European spots, which I find very fascinating and really kind of, we've got a team now that's gelled together. Hopefully this can push on and get us into something like European football. We can build on that next year now, and we've got a structure to build on. Unfortunately, again, cups are absolutely atrocious. Getting knocked out by Crystal Palace in the 4th round, and then getting knocked out the 3rd round by Salford. Don't really want to talk about them, but I don't want to say the old cliche of, oh, it let us focus on the league, but it did let us focus on the league. Ferguson did manage to get 17 goals for us, our top goal scorer. Brozovic did get 8 assists as well. Not quite to the standards that we've had previously with Sakamoto and stuff like that, getting the 20s in there, the 17s and the 13s assists, but still, we managed to get a job done. It's good to see M. Ferguson getting 17 goals from us as well. And for next year, I am potentially looking at a stronger midfield in there as well. Brozovic is getting to the age of 34. His physicals are absolutely falling off the cliff, so I really need to try and improve on that and try and get someone in to help out in that situation as well. Potentially get someone on this right hand side as well. Wright did all right, but I think I just want someone a little bit better there. Simon did fantastic as well. He managed to pick up 8 goals in 38 games, but I just kind of need more rotation, I think, from that side on the right side. The board have managed to give us 61 million to be able to do that. 42,000 in the wages, so if we offload a couple of players, we might be able to up that up a little bit and get some more wages. That's definitely what I think we need, and there's a big potential of us to push on here and build on what we've already got with this team. Some big changes are going to be happening next year, so hopefully we can push on and try and get European football maybe. Is that too much to ask? Let's find out. Season 5, and we are in pre-season, and then transfers are needed. So, what have we done? We had that 60-odd million in the bank, and it is time to put that to some good use. Maybe offloading a couple of players that we needed to just trickle out of the door and bring in some fresh blood to hopefully push us on for that European shot. And first up, we're going to take a look at some of the players that we decided to leave the club. Tony Hoos actually goes to Palermo, and he only went for 1.4 million. Now, he is 32 years of age, so we actually let him go. I think we could get a better player in there than what he is. Haji Wright has gone over to Besiktas, and he has gone for 4.3 million. He is just now lacking that little bit of pace on the wing, so I've offloaded him, and he has gone over there. He's going to enjoy life in Turkey. Callum O'Hare, he has decided to leave for Luton for 2.6 million. He is 29, getting on a little bit. His pace is lacking a little bit, but he does have some great fundamentals like we've shown him before, but I think he's going to do wonderful for Luton in the Championship. Now it's time for the players that we have brought into the club. And number one on our list was Martin Vitnik. That centre off, I told you we could get better than Hoos over there, so we have brought this guy in. He actually cost us £6.75 million. An absolute outstanding centre off there. Pace, strength, jumping reach, tackling, heading, marking. He's got the full works. He's only 24. What a player. Toson Adarabio comes in for us as well. He is going to be our other centre off. Another fantastic one. Great jumping reach, great strength, great pace as well. Can mark, can header, can do all the shenanigans that we want. Just want to be a little bit more aggressive, but at 6'5", he's an absolute monster. Joe Bursic comes in as a backup goalkeeper for us. Another ex-Stokey. He's just going to sit on the bench. We don't really need to do anything much about him, but his fact he's on 17 grand a week. I'll take that all day. We did bring in a regen as well. Oscar Holgram. He comes in from Halmstad for 1.1 million. An absolute steal. He will turn into something special. He's only 19 as well. Kirill Despadov comes in as a winger as well. Much better from him as well. 15 pace as well. A little bit better than right there. Got more mentals about him. Only thing that lets him down is his work rate, but he knows how to whip across in. Good dribbling as well from him, and good passing, which we want to see on that right-hand side. We managed to pick him up on a free, so I can't complain at that. Tyler Morton comes in as a holding midfielder for us. We got him on a free from Liverpool. He's actually developed really well, only at the age of 24, so this lad could come into the squad. Ash McEngo, another regen that we brought in. We actually picked him up for 13 million this time, already valued at 49 to 62 million pounds. He looks absolutely phenomenal. He's only 18 as well, so this guy could turn into the next big thing. Samuel Illing becomes a loanee in for us on that left hand side. We got him from Juventus, hopefully looking to make this a permanent deal if he has a good season with us. Lewis Milley comes in from Newcastle as well, another midfielder. We were looking to strengthen that, and the fact that we brought in 2 UK players, and one of them is only 21 years old. Absolute brilliant. Big signing for us though, £24.5 million, so he is a little bit of a risk for us. Ruel Walters comes in as a right back for us. We managed to pick him up for 3.1 million. I think that's a steal as well. Young as well, only 22 years of age, so if we actually did ever go down and we kept these players, we'd be coming straight back into the Premiership, but we're not looking at that. We're looking at European glory. We also did bring in Rooney Bargi. Now I know this is a bit of a generic signing there, I do apologise. Going to go out on that right hand side, but the fact that we are this many seasons in and he's still at Copenhagen, I kind of had to just take him, and we took a chance on him, and he looks absolutely phenomenal. So let's hope all these players together can create something magical. Hal's going to be in goals. Anning is going to be our left back. Adarabioyo is going to go into the centre off with Vitnik. Walters on the right hand side. Millie, Kristovoc, Ottavio, Illing, Rooney Bargi on the right, and Ferguson up top. We are still remaining on that attacking mentality because I think this team is absolutely fantastic and it's got what it needs to do to go on that attacking run. Now, we've already played a couple of games in the season because we're heading to the transfer window, and we're going to show you a good result we picked up. And it's going to be a 2-0 victory away from home against Newcastle. Look at that, Millie against his former club, and Ottavio just rifles the ball in the back of the net for a 1-goal lead. And I'm actually very happy with the way that this team is playing. As Anning is going to push down this left-hand side, uses his pace, and there's an easy tap-in. I'm not going to pronounce that name, but that is a 2-0 victory for us and a great start to the season. So let's see how we get on with a full season, and hopefully we can achieve what we've been looking for. End of season 5, and ladies and gentlemen, pack your bags. We're going on a European tour. Yes, we actually got Coventry into the European spots, and we finally got them going to the, drum roll please, Europa League football. There you go, we have it. As you can see there, we finished 6th in the Premiership, only 4 points off getting into the Champions League as well, which is absolutely crazy for us. I knew this team was good, but I didn't know it was capable of getting potentially Champions League stuff. So let's have a quick look at how we did, what results we picked up, and who was our shining player of the season. And one of them is going to be a victory against Manchester United, paying them back for that FA Cup semi-final that happened last year. Then we get a lovely goal as it comes down there, using our pace all the way across, and then Evan Ferguson just being in the right spot at the right time gives us a 1-goal lead. But in the 92nd minute, we do the unthinkable as Morton plays the ball down. Good football movement again. Dan steps there, and we get the goal and get a victory against Manchester United. And talk about last-minute goals, we pick up a 96th minute winner against Liverpool away from home. A lovely ball across, and then Illing is there to just tap it in the 96th minute to get us 3 points. And just for clarification there, we managed to pick up 6 points at Manchester United this season. Huge for us. Now, the heartbreak does come as this is an FA Cup final against Arsenal. They take a lead in the second half. It was a bit easy first off there, a bit boring, but they pick up the first goal in the 53rd minute. We then managed to somehow pick one back up, a very poor throw out of my eyes, and then they just, I don't know what they were doing, but Evan Ferguson there just taps it away for a 1-1. And then our just bad luck came into it here. We scored so many late goals that FM just decided to throw it out to us. Look at that throw there. This is in the 88th minute. What were we doing? That's 2-1. And then in the 90th minute, Saka whips the ball in, and then a ball gets cleared out pretty poorly as Gabriel then picks up back to Saka. Martinelli's there, and that is 3-1, and we unfortunately lose the FA Cup. And there you go, runners up, and we got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup too. Safe to say, we've had a pretty decent season here. I tell you what, the FA Cup would have been the icing on the cake, but unfortunately, it was a little bit too much to ask. But we did get Europa League football, which is huge for us. Evan Ferguson gained his 19 goals. Rudy Bargi coming straight in there, gained his 14 assists, which is absolutely top draw from him. The team actually played really well this year. Couple of sevens in there. Prince getting sevens. Nicholas gained sevens as well. Francis gained sevens. Deverstoff gained 7 as well. Fantastic season for us all round. Otavia playing in that attacking centre mid spot, got his 10 goals, which is absolutely crazy from him as well. So this is personally when I'm going to end the rebuild, and we did get European football, and we put Coventry back into European football within 5 seasons. Please guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and leave some comments down below. Let me know what rebuilds you would like to see. I hope you enjoyed it, and I appreciate every single one of you. Much love, and bye bye.